Hey, this is John Shea, and you're listening to the Out of the Rat Race podcast, a fun educational podcast brought to you by LI-RIA. LI-RIA is a real estate networking organization comprised of top quality rated leaders in the professional world of real estate investing. LI-RIA offers education, funding services tailored to fit real estate investors' needs, access to professionals, and a mentorship program with a proven industry track record of success. So sit back, relax, and get ready to hear the lessons, stories, and opportunities we provide that have helped and continue to help people just like you get out of the rat race and find financial independence through real estate investing. So, hello everyone, this is John, and I'm joined by Anthony Camardella today. He's a handsome new face and the Chief Operating Officer for our organization. Welcome, Anthony.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
No,
this is honestly an honor.
Thanks for coming on the show. So I do want to have a chat with you and have you tell the listeners about you and your background. But first, I want to tell everybody about the upcoming event in August, followed by a quick opinion and a short story that I came up with to use as an analogy for our company. So the event, it's August 13th at the Huntington Hilton in Melville. The doors open at 6:30 and the event runs till 9 p.m. Is that correct, Anthony?
Yep. As always, we have our monthly RIA meetings, right? LI-RIA meets on the second Tuesday of every month. And Melissa Shea and obviously yourself, you guys have been doing this for a long time. Me and the crew come on down there and we have 6 to 9. 6:30 to 9. We have people coming on the 13th.
Excellent. So this month's topic is lead generation for off-market deals. There's going to be networking, education, the state of real estate with Michael J. Mulholland, and of course, a live question and answer session. Go to the Out of the Rat Race podcast.com, hit the events tab and sign up. I promise you guys, this is priceless information and it's going to be a great event. Okay.
Do it.
What was that?
I said, do it.
Do it. So my opinion, the minute that you show interest and address yourself as an investor, you are one. Even if you've never done a deal, a fisherman is still a fisherman, even if he hasn't caught a fish. Pretty good opinion,
100%.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that. I think the first stage for anybody in anything is obviously interest.
Right. And then calling yourself that and letting the dream come alive.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I actually woke up a few nights ago with this like analogy in my head, and I put a short story together. It's in sock puppets and crayons format because that's the way I do things. And just try not to fall asleep and bear with me for a minute.
Go for it.
I got a 6-year-old boy. We'll call him Steve for the purpose of this. He watches a YouTube video of some guy fishing. He reels in a big one, takes it to the market, and sells it for a profit. Steve decides right then and there, it looks easy, fun, and he's going to be a fisherman when he gets older. He keeps doing his research, and as he gets older, he gets his first job at a fast food restaurant. He takes his first paycheck, blows it at the store buying a cheap rod and reel, some bait and tackle, because he's not getting paid much, right? Fast food. Well, these days you might get paid a little bit more, right?
You always get the perk of free food.
Yeah, there you go. He heads down to the water to start his quote-unquote part-time job. Tosses the reel into the water. He notices all the big ships are coming back into harbor, from their day of fishing. 3 hours later, he's got nothing worth keeping. So he tries again the next day after work. Same time, different location. Again, nothing worth keeping. And once again, the ships are all coming back into harbor. So it dawned on him. Ships are coming back right now with their catches. That's probably because the fishing is better earlier in the day. So the next day, Steve wakes up early so he could go try it again, this time before work. And he catches one fish. Super excited that he actually caught something for the first time. He takes it home, puts it in the fridge so he could eat it after work. So he didn't even try to sell it, right?
Yeah.
Time goes on and he keeps going fishing and trying different things, going to different locations at different times, using different tackle and bait. Nothing improves, and Steve is just ready to give up. He's packing up for which may be his last time as a fisherman, and some dude walks past him and goes, "Hey, did you catch anything?" Steve goes, "Nope." The guy says to him, "Get a boat. The best fish are out there in the open ocean," as he's pointing out to the waters. So Steve saved up and gets a fishing boat, a ship, or for the purposes of the analogy, a membership. Steve gets his boat, the fishing's good, and Steve is now a full-time successful fisherman. So The basis of this analogy is that I see LIREA as a ship that's going to take you into open waters. It has all the best equipment already installed in it. We've got navigational equipment. It's going to lead you in the right direction through our education and workshops. Weather alerts and depth finders. That's our State of the Real Estate Report with Michael Mulholland. Amazing communication equipment that allows you to talk with other captains that are fishing in the same waters. That's networking. Going around and talking to people that are doing it is the most important thing. They're going to tell you where not to go and everything like that, or stuff that they did to become successful. We have fish finders so that you could actually see the catch that you're going to get, and those are our opportunities to invest. So you could stay on the land and try to catch fish, and you may, but we pride ourselves on our fleet being the fastest, most profitable ships in the waters.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, well done, man. And the story hits home, I think, for so many people that don't understand, right? Like, we've all heard this saying before, like, you want to go fast, you go alone. You want to go further, you go together, right? So I'm sure maybe you'll go out there, you'll probably find maybe one or two quick deals. Will they be super profitable? Will they get you very far? No. And I think your story truly hits home on that.
Thank you very much. And being on the island, it's a good story. Fishermen,
Oh yeah, no, we know it well.
Yep. So, once again, a privilege to have you on the show. And now I'm going to drill you with some questions. Okay, you ready?
Perfect.
All right.
Ready.
Give me a little bit of an autobiography on Anthony Camardella.
Yeah. So a lot of people may or may not know. I feel like I don't tell this story enough, but my dad was a general contractor, and my mom was a stay-at-home mom up until my 11th birthday, and then my dad had a stroke, and then my mom became the maid breadwinner of the house, and she did that by going and getting a job as a mortgage loan processor.
Okay.
So my first introduction to real estate actually came through her at that job. So that's kind of where it all kicked off. And my dad ended up making a semi-good recovery. He was actually just around here at the office yesterday putting together some furniture for us.
Gotcha.
Shout out, Dad. But it was definitely an eye-opener for me because I got to see some really drastic differences in life. Growing up, my dad was doing well with his business, and then when he got sick, obviously finances took a turn. So
how long was his recovery?
Overall, it probably took him close to 5 years for everything to kind of like smooth back out and for him to get use of his left side again. I mean, it was really long. He jumped back up to work almost immediately and was bossing around. He had a construction company, so he was shouting at people, but undoubtedly my mom had to fill gaps. And she did fill gaps, and she will never admit to that to this day. If you ask her, she says that she did not. She was not the breadwinner, that his business was keeping us very much afloat during that time. But, breadwinner doesn't just mean paying the bills entirely. It also means providing for your family.
Right.
And having two children, me and my younger sister, my mom realized that my dad was meeting ends meet, but there was literally nothing to put clothes on my back or, any of the things that we would want as kids at 13 and, it's my seven. Right. So 13 and 7. So that part of life really shaped a lot of how I view finances, a lot of why I'm in real estate today. And, it taught me on how quickly things really turn around from everything being sunshine and rainbows to, not.
Yeah. And, shout out to your mom, too, because she also had to, deal with the emotional baggage that your father was probably carrying at that time because, whenever I'd get injured on the job or something like that, I felt very less of a person because of it. You know what I mean? So if your mom kept bringing him up and everything, that's something that happened before behind closed doors while maintaining your guys' emotions. Very powerful woman, it sounds like.
Oh yeah. No, she took the reins when stuff hit the fan.
That's excellent. So I do have my own opinion, and trust me, it's not a bad one. But I want to know what you think makes you stand out in the world of real estate.
I think probably it has a lot to do with the fact that I don't try to be something that I'm not, and I more importantly try to stay very friendly with people. I think it's got a lot to do with how much I've seen. The diversity of my background, the diversity of my upbringing, that contrast in life that, I've been on the good side of things, but I've certainly, we had a house fire while my dad was sick and we lost everything in the entire house. And we ended up living in a mobile home. And I shared a 2-bedroom mobile home with the four of us, with me and my little sister and my mom and dad. And I don't know if you've ever been in a mobile home before, but the walls are very thin.
Right.
So, 13 years old, and no walls, like you don't get time to shower very long or anything like that. Like you're just wasn't great. The house got rebuilt and we didn't live in that mobile home forever, but the experience just in itself, I've never walked into a mobile home again and not had an instant flashback of the 12 months or 8 months that I spent in one, because you just don't forget those moments.
Was it on property? I've seen a lot of times there's house fires and they bring the mobile home to the property.
Unfortunately, we didn't have the room. They put it on my grandmother's property, which wasn't far, but it was weird, like my bus stop changed and stuff. I had friends that lived in the neighborhood that, my new house was a mobile home on the side of my grandmother's house. Like, you don't have much money to start school. So of course this house fire happened over the summer. I had to go back to school with 2 outfits, and, it just wasn't a great moment. And that contrast, that whole yeah, I've had my own bedroom, but I've also had to share a bedroom with my little sister. And I've had things and I've lost things. So no matter where you are in life, as one of my clients, I think you've understood that I've probably been in your shoes.
Right. And that says something about you too, because you lost everything, right? So you might not have personal attachments to little things anymore because you lost it all. You probably pack very light. Is what I'm saying. But
absolutely,
you appreciate the things that you have more now, and that's really good, Anthony. I like that.
Yeah, for sure.
And sorry you had to go through that as 13
I'm not.
years old.
I'm not. I'm so grateful for my past, man. I am. I'm so grateful for it. Everything that happened to me happened for me. I'm such in belief of that.
And the financial security of your parents is what, and probably the proper insurance and stuff like that, is why you guys were able to get back on your feet. And
well, my dad had a contracting crew, right? So the clean out happened fast, and there were certain things that obviously we bounced back probably better than some in that situation, but it hasn't been without test, my dad will tell you, the house fire was probably enough, and and they got hit with 2 floods, and I was there for one of them. So it's you're talking about a family that's lost belongings more than once in a lifetime.
Right.
So we've thrown a lot of things in dumpsters, but the one thing we pride ourselves on is we still have a lot of photo albums. So we always say the tangible important things we've been able to keep. And that's probably it's one of the most important. So you'll take an account of the things that I actually have that matter to me and the things that I don't. So it really just depends.
And now with the cloud, we don't even have to worry about saving that stuff anymore. Everything just goes in the air, and everybody's able to take way more pictures, to where pictures really don't mean much anymore. I have I have 5,000 pictures on my phone. We didn't have 5,000 pictures between my family when I was growing up. So it's just amazing.
No, you're right. You're right. You're right.
It definitely makes you jaded. So
yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I just watched a YouTube video, interestingly enough, though, that brought up the fact that digital assets are so much further away from what we had growing up. So it's good to write notes, and I think it's good to keep scrapbooks again. I really am going back into printing the most important photos to me.
Right.
Because I don't own my iCloud. None of us do.
Yeah, that's true. And you can lose it in a heartbeat, which happened to me. I had the whole thing disappear on me.
Yeah, and the last thing you want are the newborn photos of your kids, right? You don't want that stuff caught in a cloud. I think the most important thing should be managed and held well. Get yourself a fire safe and put it in some waterproof packaging. And those are my 2 life hacks for making sure you don't lose the things important to you.
There you go. Those are good life hacks. Those are things to live by. All right. So all bullshit aside.
Yeah.
We were talking about what I think is Steve. What Steve wanted to be when he grew up, and he knew right off the bat. Who did Anthony want to be when he got older?
He wanted to be a police officer.
Really?
Yeah. I took the New York City police exam. I went to Suffolk Community College for criminal justice, specifically law enforcement. I even left high school early to go to BOCES and take the law enforcement program because I was so convinced that that's what I was going to do.
And then what changed that?
I had the heart-to-heart with myself, and I said, self, if you ever find $100,000 that belongs to a bad man, would you steal it and give it to a good man? And I said, you're damn right I would. And I said, I probably shouldn't be a police officer then.
Well, at least you were able to stop your own corruption.
100%. Yeah, no, 100%. Like, and there, the pay during my entry time into the NYPD, which shame on the NYPD for this. They were debating the idea of forcing the cadets that started to work in the boroughs that they were working in